WNBA released a statement.
We have investigated the report of racist fan behavior in the vicinity of the court during the May 17, 2025 Chicago Sky at Indiana Fever game.
Based on information gathered to date, including from relevant fans, team, and arena staff, as well as audio and video review of the game, we have not substantiated it.
The WNBA is committed to fostering a safe and inclusive environment for everyone and will continue to be diligent in enforcing our fan code of conduct.
Did racism actually happen in the Chicago Sky Indiana Fever game?
It just happened. The WNBA investigation has exposed Angel Reese.
WNBA announces that after an investigation, they found no racist comments from Indiana fans. Angel Reese lied.
How dumb can you be?
Describe Angel Reese in one word.
Bitch.
Ghetto.
Bitch. Trash.
Garbage.
Mid.
Fearless.
The bricklayer.
That's 2 words.
An attitude. Brick Barbie.
Ghetto.
And the truth is more shocking than anyone imagined. For 2 straight weeks, Caitlin Clark's loyal fan base was painted as racist based on a lie.
The WNBA ended its investigation into so-called racism from Indiana Fever fans toward Angel Reese.
A lie that Angel Reese not only allowed, but helped fuel. And now with the evidence in, the league has cleared Caitlin's supporters completely.
WNBA released a statement essentially clearing Fever fans of the misconduct allegations from the Fever Sky game, the season opener for both teams.
Revealing this entire racist attack was fabricated. The truth. Angel Reese played the victim.
Angel Reese is a liar. Angel Reese is a fraud. Angel Reese is a sociopath.
Lied to the public and tried to destroy Caitlin Clark's reputation for attention.
Angel Reese is pleading for sympathy. Angel Reese is begging for attention, begging to be noticed.
Angel Reese was standing around grandstanding at a press conference back in Chicago. Yeah, it's just tough. I've gone through what I've gone through, and, I'm just strong, and I have the support of my family and my team, and it's a hoax.
This isn't just drama. This is a full-blown reckoning. Angel's credibility is in shambles, and the spotlight is swinging back where it belongs, on Caitlin Clark, the one lifting this league while others try to tear her down.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
If you're riding with Caitlin through all the hate, drop a CC 100% in the comments and let the world know where you stand.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
The WNBA season had barely tipped off when a storm of controversy erupted. Not from a hard foul or a heated rivalry, but from a fabricated claim of racism.
This whole thing was a hoax, incorrect, and just totally fabricated.
After the Indiana Fever dominated the Chicago Sky in their May 17th season opener, a false narrative took over the headlines. Angel Reese, instead of accepting the loss on the court, found herself in the middle of a baseless accusation.
When it comes to racism and the hateful rhetoric and the statement that the WNBA is saying, I think it's important because at the end of the day, if you are truly a basketball fan, you would understand and agree. We have no space in our game for those types of comments, and also not, putting more gasoline on the fire in a circumstance where we're here to appreciate the beautiful basketball. That's all Caitlin and Angel want you to do. Why not just continue on that?
That fans at Gainbridge Fieldhouse hurled racist remarks during the game.
This league decided to accuse their own fans of racism.
Again, this mythical racism that allegedly is supposed to exist, right, in the WNBA, okay, at WNBA games, turns out that the league investigated it and it doesn't exist.
Social media exploded. Blogs picked it up. And almost immediately, the WNBA launched an official investigation. But here's the truth. No racist incident ever happened. The WNBA's own findings released on May 27, 2025, confirm it. After reviewing audio, video, and fan reports, the league announced there was no substantiated evidence of racist behavior from Indiana Fever fans. Not a single slur, not a single credible witness.
Those social media claims, it's an embarrassment that those were publicly investigated in the first place before anything was actually found.
The entire allegation was built on social media rumors, and yet it was allowed to fester, casting Caitlin Clark's fans.
The truth is painful.
Caitlin Clark fans have been subjected to baseless allegations of fake racism.
So Angel Reese lied, right? Basically, that's what happened. Angel Reese lied and smeared the whole Fever fan base as racist, right? Racist, even though there's no evidence whatsoever that she experienced any type of racism.
And by extension, Caitlin herself, under a cloud of suspicion. Even more disturbing, Angel Reese leaned into the narrative. In her press conference, she spoke like a survivor of trauma, saying it was hard to hear and thanking the league for supporting her.
There's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA, our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me. It happened to me, it could happen to anyone.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great. God has protected me in so many different ways.
I think the league's response just coming out right away and getting that investigation going.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech. And obviously, the women in this league, they know that, and know there's no space for that.
But her own coach, Tyler Marsh, admitted he never heard anything and only learned about the alleged incident after the game like everyone else. That admission alone blows a hole through Reese's victim act. This wasn't just a misunderstanding, it was manipulation, a calculated attempt to shift the focus away from Angel's poor performance and onto a made-up racial incident. At a time when Caitlin Clark was lighting up the court and energizing the league, Reese chose to manufacture controversy instead of rising to the challenge. And the result? A league forced to investigate lies, fans wrongly demonized, and Caitlin Clark once again dragged through mud for something she had nothing to do with. The real racism here? Labeling an entire fan base as hateful simply because they support a player who's changing the game. This is the moment the lie fell apart, and Angel Reese was exposed.
Hey everybody, I'm sure you've seen the WNBA statement on the investigation, and I want to address this with the same energy I did the first time, because if you really know me, I always try my absolute best to uplift the WNBA, to celebrate the amazing players, the coaches, and of course the fans. That is something that is at the core of everything that I do. But if you know me, you know I'm not afraid to say I can do better. I am sorry that my message was in the heat of the moment, because when I initially spoke on the topic, it really came from a place of care. It was based on firsthand conversations with people very close to the situation who raised real concerns, and they told me what they had experienced. And I felt like it was important and it was necessary to acknowledge those allegations and also voice those experiences. Now, in the process, however, I totally recognize that it may have impacted fans in a way that I did not intend, and I am sorry. I'm also happy that the WNBA treated the matter with the utmost seriousness, followed through with the investigation, and I understand that having a platform comes with a responsibility, and I do not take that lightly. So as our league continues to grow, I am going to grow with it. And I am so committed to be better in how I share perspectives and grow alongside the game that I truly love and adore. I mean, some of my favorite memories as a pro was playing in Indiana, and I truly believe that WNBA, we have the most passionate fans, and I'm grateful for our community. I hope you know.
When the fake racism narrative exploded on social media, the WNBA had a choice. It could have paused, investigated quietly, and waited for the facts. Instead, it jumped headfirst into the fire, issuing a premature and overreaching statement on May 18th, 2025.
The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter.
Denouncing racism and hate speech in response to unverified social media claims. In doing so, the league didn't just fan the flames, it ignited a media frenzy that painted Caitlin Clark's supporters as villains without a shred of proof. What followed was disgraceful. Media giants like ESPN, who should be held to journalistic standards, ran with the narrative as if it were gospel.
social media claims being investigated. All of this should have been covered allegedly. And it was embarrassing the way that many in the media covered this story, particularly ESPN, presented this as if it was something that happened. And it feels like a convenient narrative to use against Clark and Fever fans.
Commentators offered impassioned monologues condemning racism, but not once did they stop to ask, where's the evidence? Headlines framed Indiana Fever fans as aggressors. Discussions centered around protecting Angel Reese. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, who had nothing to do with the accusations, became collateral damage, with her fans and even her team pulled into the chaos. This wasn't just bad reporting. It was a calculated effort to undercut Caitlin Clark's rising influence in the league. One commentator nailed it when they said the false narrative seemed like a desperate attempt to combat Clark's popularity.
It's almost weaponized against Clark and Fever fans because they're so popular that this was the best method to try to undercut said popularity.
Think about that. Instead of highlighting Clark's stellar play, record-breaking viewership numbers, and the new life she's breathed into the WNBA, mainstream sports media chose to weaponize a lie to taint her and those who support her. And the WNBA didn't stop them. Despite knowing how baseless the allegations were becoming, the league let the circus continue for 10 full days.
The WNBA's been getting drugged for, 10 days now? There was no proof of anything racist at the Indiana Fever game, and there were no racist remarks towards Angel Reese. She comes out, she makes a statement. The WNBA concluded, no, we couldn't find anything. No kidding.
There were no public reassurances for fans, no defense for Caitlin Clark, no condemnation of the false narrative. In fact, while Angel Reese was receiving public sympathy and media praise, Caitlin Clark's name was being tied to racism by association. Her fans, who have made up the backbone of record-breaking ticket sales and TV ratings, were being told they were part of the problem.
The Caitlin Clark effect is very real. No, people don't want to pay money, a premium, to go see Angel Reese, right? That's why ticket prices are falling, right? She's wrong, okay? Nobody wants to watch her. And I wouldn't be surprised if these arenas look really, really, really empty, right? I wouldn't be surprised if fans just don't show up. And that's going to be really embarrassing for the WNBA.
And then came the worst part, the silence. When the WNBA released its May 27th statement, officially clearing fans of any wrongdoing, there was no apology.
There's no apologies to any fans whatsoever on this totally BS statement released by the WNBA. The WNBA admits Caitlin Clark fans never did anything racist.
Brittany Griner, who allegedly called Caitlin Clark an effing white girl on the bench, right? They didn't investigate that. They didn't investigate that at all. Funny how that works. Legitimate question, why does this keep happening to your league? Also, will Indiana Fever team and fans get an apology for disparaging insinuations? Fan-based reputations last a long time. For example, Eagles fans actually did boo Santa Claus, unlike this claim. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. They owe the fans an apology. They owe the fans an apology.
No accountability. Not to the Indiana Fever organization, not to the fans, not to Caitlin Clark. After allowing a player like Angel Reese to posture as a victim and helping fuel a fake narrative for over a week, the league simply said the investigation was closed and moved on. Let that sink in. The WNBA allowed false accusations to spread unchecked. It enabled a media takedown of its most valuable star and alienated the very fan base that's been showing up, tuning in, and saving the league's future. And it didn't even have the courage to say, we were wrong. It's no coincidence that the investigation's conclusion came right after Caitlin Clark was sidelined with injury and fans began threatening to boycott games. Viewers were furious. Some vowed to cancel League Pass subscriptions. Others blasted the WNBA's credibility online. Suddenly, when Caitlin's presence and her economic impact was missing, the league remembered who actually fills seats.
Over 17,000 seats available, and Angel Reese only managed to fill the arena to half capacity. To make matters worse, it was another embarrassing night for the self-proclaimed villain.
The timing of the statement wasn't justice, it was damage control. Caitlin Clark deserves better. Her fans deserve better. And for a league that claims to champion integrity, transparency, and growth, the past 2 weeks revealed a disturbing truth. When forced to choose between facts and identity politics, the WNBA and the media chose a false narrative over their future.
There's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA, our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great. God has protected me in so many different ways. I've gone through so many different things in the past couple of years of my life, but I think just having this support and this love and being a part of an organization that really supports me and loves me is something that I couldn't imagine not being a part of.
What do you think the league's response, just coming out right away and getting that investigation going?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech. And obviously, the women in this league, they know that, and know there's no space for that. And I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun and have a great environment to work at. So I think they've done a great job putting that out, and we're obviously just going to respond as they need to.
By now, it's clear the WNBA didn't just get caught up in one isolated incident. What unfolded in the past few weeks was not a one-off misstep. It was part of a pattern of deception, manipulation, and distraction, led by none other than Angel Reese. While Caitlin Clark has let her skills, stats, and leadership do the talking, Angel has increasingly relied on drama, false narratives, and empty victimhood to stay relevant. Let's begin with the most recent hoax, the false accusation of racism from Indiana Fever fans. Once again, Angel took center stage not because of her performance on the court, but because she seized a viral opportunity to portray herself as a victim of hate. During a post-game press conference, she gave a tearful statement about how hard it was to deal with the alleged comments. She thanked the league for rushing to her aid. She even suggested that what happened to her could happen to anyone.
Every WNBA media member, Angel Reese, and every other WNBA player organization who believe that bullshit about monkey noises needs to make a public apology to the Indiana Fever and their fans.
All while knowing, according to her own coach Tyler Marsh, she never actually heard anything herself. That's not courage, that's manipulation. But here's the bigger problem. This isn't the first time she's done it. Last year, Angel Reese made headlines by claiming that a white Caitlin Clark fan called her teammates ghetto bitches and blocked them from entering their hotel.
Last year, she lied about getting off of a bus and they were blocked from getting into their hotel room, to the point where the general manager of the Chicago Sky had to say, yeah, that was a lie. Video turned out, well, to show one guy asking one question. Angel Reese is a liar. Angel Reese is a fraud. Angel Reese is a sociopath. She's an idiot. And she is never, ever, under any circumstance, to be taken at her word.
The problem? Video evidence completely debunked that claim, and her own general manager contradicted it. Just like the recent WNBA investigation.
John Matrix, this league is a joke. They did an investigation and they knew there was no evidence of racism. Angel Reese is a clown. The WNBA may never turn a profit.
It was a lie that went viral, only to quietly fall apart when the facts came in. It's a pattern, a disturbing, consistent one. Whenever Angel finds herself struggling, whether it's on the scoreboard, in the media, or in comparison to Caitlin Clark, she turns to race-based outrage and social media sympathy to recapture attention. She paints herself as the oppressed, misunderstood, unfairly targeted victim, while simultaneously throwing her opponents, often white players like Clark, under the bus by allowing narratives of racism to form around them. Why? Because her performance can't back up her fame. Let's talk about the numbers. We're deep into the WNBA season, and Angel Reese's play has been far from iconic. Her team, the Chicago Sky, opened the season with repeated losses. Her on-court presence is often marked by missed layups, poor decision-making, and a lack of leadership. In one game, she received the ball in the restricted area, with no defenders around her, and still failed to make a simple shot.
Her unknown teammate tosses Angel Reese the ball in the restricted area. Now, as you can see, Angel Reese makes an unathletic attempt at a no-look layup. Now, keep in mind, she cannot make a layup when she is looking directly at the basket. Angel Reese can't make a wide open layup when there's not a defender within 6 miles. But for some reason, she thought she would toss the miniature ball backwards and it would magically go in.
And this is the same player who ESPN, in one of the most baffling moments in recent sports memory, called an icon. An icon of what? Drama?
ESPN celebrated some doofus accomplishment from Angel Reese after the game last night by calling her an icon. Icon of what? The only iconic thing Angel Reese has done is find unique ways to humiliate herself.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has shattered records, led her team in scoring and assists, and handled every hit, literal and metaphorical, with grace and focus. She's absorbed elbows to the face, flagrant fouls, and relentless scrutiny, yet she keeps showing up. She keeps delivering. And still, Clark is the one being smeared, while Reese plays the hero of a fictional battle.
In response to the WNBA's recently concluded investigation, Pacers Sports and Entertainment CEO Mel Raines has issued the following statement. We appreciate the swift and thorough process undertaken by the WNBA to investigate these allegations, which were not substantiated. At Gainbridge Fieldhouse, we are committed to providing the best possible basketball experience for players and fans where hate speech has absolutely no place. Indiana is home to the world's greatest fans, and we look forward to an exciting season of Fever basketball.
But here's what's happening now. The public is waking up. Angel Reese is developing what wrestling fans call go-away heat. People aren't tuning in to see her win or even lose. They're just tired of the antics. They want her to disappear. Fans are starting to realize that she brings more controversy than competitiveness, more staged moments than highlight reels. And perhaps most telling is the response from the corporations who once threw endorsement deals her way. Angel may still have a few major brands backing her, but for how long? Corporations pay for influence, not infamy. And as the public sees through the race card theatrics and the declining basketball skills, those sponsors will distance themselves faster than a missed Reese layup rolls off the rim. It's also worth noting that the WNBA has pushed Angel as a face of the league.
It is full of shit. I repeat, the WNBA and everyone that runs it is full of shit.
Giving her press, praise, and power disproportionate to her actual production. They crowned her a queen before she proved herself. But now with the lies catching up, the league is facing a dilemma. Either continue enabling a player who keeps damaging its reputation or pivot toward the true leader of this new era, Caitlin Clark. Let's be honest. Angel Reese is not the victim. She is the instigator. And what's worse, her actions don't just hurt her credibility, they hurt the entire league's credibility. They hurt Caitlin Clark's brand, and they hurt every fan who simply wanted to enjoy good basketball without being accused of racism for cheering for the wrong player. The facts are now undeniable. The WNBA investigated Angel Reese's claim and found nothing. Not one racist fan comment, not one shred of truth, just another performance from the self-declared villain who's quickly running out of sympathy and spotlight. And yet, no apology, no accountability, no remorse.
Nothing. Angel Reese owes Indiana fans an apology. Dave Portnoy, no shit, you effing morons. Maybe wait next time before creating a racial war based on angry TikToks from Chicago Sky Angel trolls who weren't even at the game. Honestly, one of the worst mismanagements of PR I've ever seen.
At some point, lies catch up with you. Angel Reese just learned that the hard way. But the biggest truth is this. Caitlin Clark never needed drama to shine. She let her game do the talking. And now, the world is listening. So now the truth is out. The WNBA's investigation has officially exposed Angel Reese's false racism claim for what it really was. A desperate, attention-grabbing stunt.
Now, a lot of people are asking the question, Is the WNBA got the guts to fine and or suspend Angel Reese for playing along with this whole thing?
And in the process, Caitlin Clark and her fans were wrongly accused, unfairly targeted, and dragged through the mud, all based on lies. But Clark, as always, took the high road. She didn't whine. She didn't play victim. She just kept showing up, balling out, and proving with every game why she's the real face of this league.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is being exposed, not just by fans, but by the very facts she thought would never come to light. And still, no apology, no accountability, just silence. But we won't be silent, because this isn't just about one false claim. It's about protecting the integrity of the game, the truth, and the fans who love it. Caitlin Clark deserves better. Her fans deserve better. You deserve better.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
If you stand with Caitlin Clark and you're tired of the lies, the hate, and the smear campaigns, do one thing right now. Drop a CC 100% in the comments to show your support and let everyone know we're the real heart of women's basketball lives. We're not just watching history, we're standing with it.